Hello everyone, Helen here. Thanks for coming to join me today. If you've been here lots of times, welcome back. And if you're quite new, then it's really lovely for you to come and join me today. I really appreciate you popping in. And I hope everybody's been okay since I was last here. I'm okay now, but I've had the most horrible cold since I made last week's podcast, which I made more than a week ago. It was just a cold, but it came with such a nasty cough. One of those coughs where every time you lie down and try and go to sleep, you just have a horrible coughing fit. So anyway, I am on the mend now. But if there's any sudden jumps in the video, it's probably because I'm just cutting out a bit of coughing. Anyway, hopefully I'm okay. So today I am going to do a bit of project update. I've got some finished projects to show you, and I'm going to chat a little bit about a trip to Aberdeen that I made after the campervan trip, and which involved a bit of a troublesome time with yarn shops. So I'm going to tell you that tale a bit later on. But thank you everybody who's been continuing to make such lovely comments after watching my podcasts. It really is lovely to read all of those comments. So not just last week's with the campervan trip, but a previous couple of episodes, the one about dolls and the one about the two bears that I made. It's really, really nice to hear your reactions and your own experiences and thoughts on what I was chatting about. But I especially appreciate your comments on the campervan videos, because they do take me such a long time to make, and they take a lot longer than a normal podcast. And so I thought you might be interested to know kind of my process of making the campervan videos. So I'll chat a little bit about that in a little while as well. But let's have a look at some projects. So first one I'm going to show you that's finished, which I think I started in January, been doing it for a while, and that was my first ever crochet jumper using this pattern here by Iron Lamb Designs, a lady called Claudine Powley, I think it is. It's called the Granny Go Round jumper, and that was a pattern was gifted to me for Christmas, and it is now finished. I had a lot of trouble with it, although there's nothing wrong with the pattern. And so first of all, here it is. I'm very happy with the colours. I'm very happy with the yarn that I used, which is my mind always goes blank when I have to think of the name of the yarn. King Cole Majestic, that's what it's called. DK yarn. Can't remember how much is wool, but I think it's 50% wool and 50% something else. It is really, really very cosy. Now you might notice that it is short sleeved, and I wasn't intending making a short sleeve jumper again, because I think I've made 2 short sleeve jumpers now, and I intended it to be a long sleeve jumper. But the first problem I had was that I realised I hadn't bought enough yarn. So then, I could order some more yarn, or I could think of something else to do. So I decided, that I would just make it short sleeved. And I know some people do think that it's a bit odd having a jumper, like a woolly jumper, that has just got short sleeves. Why wouldn't you want it to have long sleeves? But I don't know, they suit me really well, because a lot of the time, put that down, when I'm wearing a jumper with big long sleeves, I'm needing to pull my sleeves up. And so, at certain times of the year, when it's not hot and it's not really cold, then it's nice to have that kind of the warmth for your core body, but to have your arms free. I just like that. So So this really suits me, although you'll see in the photos of me wearing this that I was actually wearing it over a long-sleeved t-shirt type thing, which, you know, I think looks fine really. My son described it as a weird woolly t-shirt, so, you know, never mind. I don't care. It is really nice and warm to wear, and I'm definitely going to get a lot of wear out of this. The other trouble that I had, and another reason actually why I on this occasion decided to do short sleeves, I realised that the sleeves were going to be quite wide, and I tried several times to do some decreases so it wasn't going to be so wide, and that wasn't working. Nothing looked right. I am not a garment designer at all, so the things I was trying were just not working. So that was another reason I thought, right, I'll just do short sleeves, and then it doesn't matter if it's a little bit wide, because then the ribbing part will just bring it in, and yeah, so that fits fine. But I really would like to make this jumper again and make it with long sleeves. So I don't know whether, because there is no shaping at all in the pattern for the sleeves, and I don't know whether the width of the sleeve at the top is just going to be too wide at the bottom. I know the ribbing at the wrist will bring it in a bit, but it might look a bit kind of funny. So I'm not quite sure what to do about that. But anyway, the other thing that I'm going to do when I make another jumper, another one of these, is that I'm not going to do it in 4 stripes in 4 different colours. I think I will use more than one colour, but my friend who gave me the pattern said that actually she'd seen somebody wearing it and they'd kind of done colour blocks. So I think that's what I'm going to try next time. I'll maybe do 1 or, you know, two colours. I might just do it in 2 colours. So yeah, anyway, watch this space. I might get round to that, but I am really, really pleased with it, and it's certainly going to get plenty of wear. So there we go, granny go round jumper. I have just finished a pair of socks, these ones here. The sock yarn I hadn't used before, Superba, and it's called Superba Vintage. These are for my brother, and they were meant to be for Christmas. And then, yeah, there was no way I was going to get them finished for Christmas. And then they were going to be for his birthday, which was just a couple of weeks ago when I'm recording this. Still didn't get them finished. Anyway, I have just finished them now. So that's a very nice sock yarn. It feels a bit like West Yorkshire Spinners, but maybe slightly softer. I don't know. And I've just done my usual plain pattern. I'm not at all adventurous with socks. Socks are just my comfort knitting, and I don't often do anything adventurous at all. However, I think the next pair of socks I am planning to be a little bit more adventurous and try a new pattern. Yeah, anyway, so there we go, another pair of socks, which will soon be off to my brother. Okay, and the third finished thing I've got to show you today is a gnome. Right, okay then. So this lovely gnome here, this gnome pattern is from a series that Sarah Shearer is bringing out this year called The Gnomes of Grimblewood. And and so she's just bringing the patterns out gradually. There's going to be several gnomes, I'm not sure how many, and also some other things as well. So far there's been a house pattern for a knitted gnome house as well. And anyway, this is the first one I've made, and he's called Nedward, and I really, really love his hat. And it's also the first gnome that I've made that's just got feet sticking out of the bottom. I did do one with legs, but this one has just got feet. And I just used some scraps of 4-ply yarn, I mean. And in fact, I think this green one here was from another gnome kit, and I just had some left, so I had enough for the hat and feet. And it's all gone now, so that's quite good. I followed the pattern as it was, apart from the arms, because in the pattern the arms are actually all knitted as one, so the hands are joined. It's just done as one long I-cord, whereas I decided that I really like the gnomes having separate arms. But otherwise, yeah, he's lovely. It's really lovely. I like it. It's a little bit different to all the ones I've got with pointy hats. And this pattern, or series of patterns, has been really kindly gifted to me by one of you lovely viewers, Christine. Thank you so much again. And yeah, I'm looking forward to showing you some of the other ones that in this series that I will gradually get onto. Honestly, after doing the year of gnomes last year, where I knitted a different gnome each month of last year, I wasn't going to make any this year, but you know, they're just irresistible, aren't they? So yes, so there we go. There is Nedward. And I think just one other project to show you this week, which is ongoing, and I have shown it to you once when I'd only just begun it, and that is the jelly roll blanket, which I think an awful lot of people have made, and it's just a great way of using up just leftovers of yarn. And I have got several bags like this, balls of leftover Stylecraft Special DK from all the blankets that I've made. So I thought this jelly roll blanket would be perfect for using up all of those balls of yarn. Oh, excuse me. And so this is what I've done so far. Can't really show it to you very easily. So I'm on to my 5th strip of knitting. So there we go. I want it to look random, so, but I'm not just dipping into the bag and using whatever I pick up next. You know, I am trying to spread out the, you know, the yellows and the pinks and things. So I thought I would chat to you a little bit now about how I make the campervan videos, because somebody did ask me quite a while ago, you know, what was my whole process in doing it, because I've kind of developed my way of doing it. I do watch a lot of campervan videos on YouTube, and I haven't seen anybody do it quite in the way that I do it. I try to not have my, you know, camera being too intrusive on the holiday, if you get what I mean. Anyway, so that's really why I decided that my way of doing it would be to have all of the pictures and then do a narration on what we actually did. So my whole process begins once I am home. Well, in the first place, doing a little bit of research, checking up my facts on the places that we've been to. And yeah, so I make some notes about that. I sometimes need to draw a map. I wasn't really sure what the copyright situation with maps was like, so I just decided, I'll draw my own. So they are my own style. And I also make a kind of table which shows which video clips I've got of which places and how many I've got, because that helps me to decide whether I'm going to make an extra little video with music backing of a particular thing that we did. For example, in last podcast of the snowdrop walk, for example. So looking at how many clips or photos I've got of each thing helps me decide that. And then I will make those little short videos with music backing that I will then slot in later once I'm in the video editing software. So they just get slotted in at the right time. The other thing that I use my list of how many photos or video bits I've got of the different things is I use that to help me then write a narration. and then plus all of my research of the history of things. Yeah, so then I write this narration, and then I go into the campervan and record myself chatting to you and reading my narration. And then that narration gets put into the video editing software on one track, and then I match all of my videos and photos onto the top of that and add words where necessary. And yeah, so I think that's it. So it is quite a long process. I love doing it. It's very time consuming, and yeah, it's probably just as well we're not going on too many campervan trips at the moment. But yeah, anyway, so yeah, so that's that. So after our campervan trip around Aberdeenshire, Phil dropped me off in Aberdeen, and he drove off home because he had to go back to work. And I met up with my lovely friend Margaret, who lives on the Isle of Skye. And once a year we meet up somewhere roughly halfway between. I think on the whole Margaret has to travel further than me. But the last time we met up was in 2020, February 2020, just before the whole pandemic thing blew up. And this is the first time we've got together since then. And that time we met up in Aberdeen, and we said at the end of that, well, there's lots of things we haven't seen, so let's just meet up back here. So that's what we did, finally, 3 years later. And we had such a really lovely time. We chatted non-stop. Whatever we were doing, we were chatting. It was a very nice hotel we were in. Probably you might describe it as old and tired, but it was very clean and it did excellent breakfasts. So that was the Station Hotel in Aberdeen. So we had no problem with it at all, apart from maybe a very creaky floor in the bedroom, but no, that was all right. And so, yeah, we did shopping and we went to some places of interest, which I'll show you shortly. And we also decided that we really had to go and visit the yarn shops of Aberdeen, and we found that there were two. Well, we had such a lot of trouble getting to them. Neither of us are very good at finding our way around places. We're not very good at using maps. And so it was fun. It was fun trying to get there. But anyway, so the first one we decided to go to, we thought looked really nice. It sold a lot of independent yarns, rather than commercial ones. A lot of hand-dyed and, some nice... We were prepared for treating ourselves to some extra special yarns, since we were away on holiday. So we walked to this place from the hotel, quite a long walk. And when we got there, we found that it was closed. It wasn't meant to be closed. In the window it said it was open and said it should be open, but it wasn't closed. And we asked in another shop about the yarn shop, and they said, oh yes, sometimes they open a little bit later. So we hung around for a bit, but clearly it wasn't going to be opening. There was not even a phone number anywhere that you could phone to get in touch with them to ask, are you opening today? So we had to give up on that. And then we went off and did a bit of visiting to a very interesting area of Aberdeen called Old Aberdeen. So you'll see some of that in the video that I'm going to show you in a moment. And after we'd been there, we said, right, shall we go and find the other yarn shop that's in Aberdeen that's called Wool for You? I said, yes, let's do that. So again, on foot, we set off. This time I did actually attempt to use Google Maps. I'm not very good at using Google Maps, I have to say. I just get very confused about which direction I'm going in all the time. And even though we had some, written instructions as well, directions, we still managed to take a few detours. But we got there in the end. We were determined. We were determined to get to this yarn shop. So we went into the yarn shop, and the first thing we noticed was that the lady behind the counter was busy writing a note that says apologies. She was just about to close the yarn shop. She was closing it early because she wasn't actually feeling very well. And oh no. And so we told her our tale of woe of the morning. And yes, so she said, oh, don't worry. She said, I'll stay open for a bit longer. And so she very kindly did. She didn't hurry us at all, but of course we didn't really feel very relaxed at the thought, because she didn't look very well. And so we would have spent a lot more money, I think, if the shop hadn't been closing early. But we did buy one or two things. I bought 3 different balls of sock yarn, lovely yellow one, I can't wait to use that one, and a sparkly one that I've been meaning to buy. Each time we've come up to Christmas, I've meant to buy some nice sparkly sock yarn and then not bought it in time. So now I've got it. This is I think I'm going to save that one for Christmas in July. And then I've got a lovely opal one with lots of blues and things in it. So that'll be nice. And I bought some Emma Ball cards that have got a knitting theme. And I also bought this set of 5 cards here, which are designed for when you've got a project with lots of different colours in. So I do normally just use a scrap bit of card and punch holes in and put my yarn through and write the name. But I thought, I'll treat myself to some posh ones for next time I'm making a blanket. So we did treat ourselves a little bit, and we were very glad that we had got to go in at least one yarn shop. So yeah. Anyway, I'm going to stop rattling on now, and just going to show you just a very little compilation, really, of some of the things that we did while we were in Aberdeen, and then that finishes off with my train journey back to Durham. So come along with me to Aberdeen. Right, well, I think I really must go now. Apologies for all of the the coughing today. Hopefully next time it'll be a lot better. But yes, until I see you again, take great care of yourself. Keep nice and busy, and I'll see you again next time. Okay then, bye.